How's it going, guys? This is Avollon, and welcome back to Avollon's world. First off, got a fancy cape. This is just the migrating cape. Nothing fancy. But it gives my elytra some design, which is pretty cool. But anyways, it's 1.18.2 now. Last episode was not even 1.17. It was the snapshots prior to 1.17, though I think it released after 1.17 dropped, if I remember correctly. What is it here? Okay. A diamond, let's go. This has been one of my expeditions, so I kind of stopped playing for a while there. You know, you get these, I don't know what to call it. Like, you're like, oh yeah, I really like playing this game, and then you just kind of, like, don't play it for a couple months, and then you're like, oh yeah, I need to play this. You know, it's one of those circumstances where I just kind of lost creative inspiration, and it is very taxing to do everything, and that's one of the reasons I'm still playing on this world, because I had originally thought that I wanted to go ahead and start a new world, start a new series, start from the beginning, start fresh, because 1.18 overhauled everything, and I've yet to even explore the caves that are below my feet currently. But then I thought of all the projects I did here, and all the time, and all the memories, and yeah, this world has a lot of history behind it, and I don't want to just throw it to the side and start again, essentially speaking. So, today's episode 46 is gonna go over the things that I've done in the break, because I still have technically played some, and I just recently got back in to playing the game. So, I'm gonna go ahead and formulate a plan. There are some random things here and there that you probably are seeing, like the azalea bush here wasn't here before. I swapped those out, and I'm pretty sure these are the, I don't have a hoe, but this way, that'll work. Yeah, those are the azalea leaves. I swapped those out around the house because they just look so much nicer. And yeah, 1.18 overhauled a lot of stuff, so let me formulate a plan on trying to remember what I did and what I didn't do. So I'm fairly positive this wasn't shown, assuming by the, the nice looking azalea trees, which I actually really like. They're really natural looking, and the glowberry vine things, which you can actually climb and just kind of hang out in here. Hey, how's it going? This is the Netherwort farm. I think I might have talked about moving it, because it used to be right over there, which is another thing I did. I think it was like right in this area over here. So I've swapped it out for the Netherwort farm I had before. This one's just better. It's the same one from the beginning of the series in the other worlds, and I might have swapped out the regular nether brick for the red nether brick. And I think, yeah, I didn't replan it, because classic me. And then over here, besides, changing this to deep slate, because it sounds beautiful, and I like it, and deep slate's amazing, I updated my map room. This map room had just kind of been a hole in the wall that I put a map, and it was kind of boring, and now it's the grand map room. Some more deep slate, of course. Are these, I'm assuming these are just chiseled, right? Yeah. Pretty cool. Using some of the deep slate, mixing in some of the textures, cracked bricks, regular cobbled deep slate, everything. There's a lot you can do with this. Like, you got polished bricks, tiles. I think these are a different variant too. Polished, never mind. But anyway, the grand map room now has more than one map because it's grand, and the map is still the same size actually, so it's not like that changed. Which I don't know the last time I updated it, because yeah, this is, yeah, you can see it. There's, you can barely see the sandstone structures, but they're there. But we now have the map of Avollon's village, which is new too, I think. Map of the whatchamacallit, Ocean Monument, and White Ridge. So yeah, and we got two little buddy axolotls down there just swimming around. with some kelp and seagrass? Yeah, some seagrass down there. I might throw in some drip leaves because I didn't have those at the time when I made this. And this is tinted glass too. Don't ask why. But actually ask why, because don't the axolotls spawn in caves and they don't like light or something? No, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, on to the next. So in terms of future projects and upcoming ideas, you might notice that this area over here is looking not densely populated by a birch forest, because all this open area used to be a birch forest. I got bored and decided to chop down a bunch of trees. One, because I needed the wood, and two, I have some grand ideas, and I ran out of the beacon effects. That means I gotta move the beacons over, except for that one. Why is that still there? I need to move that. This is going to become kind of like an amusement park, and I have some plans for it and some ideas, including like a roller coaster, like an elytra course, mini golf I think was one of them, something with striders. I have written down in a book so I wouldn't forget, and the book is actually down there in the underneath, which I will show you later. There are also little patches of moss everywhere. I think they just add a bunch of greenery, and you've already seen that I've thrown the azalea trees kind of all over the place. I believe I walked past it, but I didn't mention it, so I should mention it. That I think I added this area here with like the sweet berries and the glowberries over here, just kind of filling in empty space. Nothing really fancy. But I was flying to show you guys the desert village because it has changed a little bit. I added this little section back here and connected up the paths to the buildings back here. Like I said, the Netherwort farm used to be there, so now there's a couple more buildings. And I think I also put the paths over to the markets in this little area, so they're slowly coming together, and it's now raining, so I'm gonna go sleep. So we're gonna experience this together for the first time, even though I built it, so technically it's not my first time. But this is my storage room, if you don't remember. I think I updated this, because this obviously has 1.16 related bits and bobs, I don't know. But this was an old armor equipping station that just broke, like, after I built it. Something changed in the game. It didn't actually break in the game. Something in the game broke it. I now have arrows, so the arrows, I essentially hit this button, it breaks the armor, which I think also opens the trap door, which then drops down into the dispenser and will equip me with the armor. If it's just kind of something cool, I will probably never use it because it's still all diamond. And it all has elytras. That doesn't show you how rich I am. I don't even know how many I have. So the underneath, one of my favorite areas in this world, obviously, with the Caves and Cliffs update, this place could get a major, massive overhaul, especially with all the torches, because the lighting changes. I could easily do that. I do have plans for this, though. This is an old nano farm that just doesn't work anymore, so might have some plans for that. But there's a new corridor, or cave, or something, whatever you want to call it. And going on down, you know, it looks normal. We introduced some candles into the mix because I haven't used them too much. I honestly forget, were those added in... I think those were added in 1.17, right? But then you come down here and boom, lush caves. I love the lush caves. They are beautiful, and I had built this prior to 1.18, so that was prior to the point where you could shear the ends of like kelp and vines and stuff to stop them from growing. So there was string everywhere, and I couldn't put them on the ceiling, or you just have like string floating everywhere, and you can see it when you walk by. But this place looks beautiful. I tried to mimic the lush cave feeling, and I'm fairly positive that the caves that generated below me are actually lush caves in this area. Coincidence? I think not. But I do have a data pack installed because this was built prior to 1.18, so obviously I had to get the stuff somehow. The glowberries and everything else. The shroom... Spore blossom. Yeah, that's what it's called, not the shroom lights. That's with the mushrooms. What am I thinking? It even makes sense. Shroom, mushroom. Okay. There's a crafting recipe I have. Can I type it in here? Nope. can't type it in there. I have a crafting table, we'll go look at it, but there's a crafting recipe, I think, for the small drip leaf, the big drip leaf, and the spore blossom, and I think the bundles too, which aren't even in the game, technically speaking. But anyway, I used the oak here to replicate the mine shafts in the new caves where they're hanging with chains and everything. I really like how they look, so I wanted to replicate that here. Bunch of clay, different ores, whatnot, spore blossoms, looks amazing. Then you come on over here, and you got some more axolotl buddies. I do have future plans to set up some sort of breeding station for these guys, because there is an elusive rare blue axolotl that you can't get normally. So we definitely have to try to breed them, and they just knock that big drip leaf over all the time. That's how I know they're still alive. I thought there was a yellow one in there too, but I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, you continue on down, and you got a patch of tough. Yeah, that was very tough. You got a storage room for moss blocks in the variants of moss blocks, including the bone meal, because obviously moss, I think all the trees and the carpets and the blocks itself can be turned into bone meal. That's why I have a composter here. But this is actually a moss farm, obviously speaking, and there's two of them. I think I have the video saved in a playlist on YouTube. I will drop the link down in the description. I don't quite remember who built this, but I will drop the link in the description to the video. You can go check it out. I built two of them, and they are hooked up to this switch, which I can turn on. And essentially all that happens is the stone generates the dispenser there, bone meals that moss block, which changes the stone and stuff around it. And I think this one, I'm going to turn this off because it's a little loud. This one here gives us all of our moss stuff. Don't mind that, I'll show you that later. In this one, everything gets turned into bone meal. And then it has the first bone meal supply and second bone meal supply, which I should probably hook up an indicator light because that would be useful. And over here we've got the hanging root and glow lichen farm. Simple and easy, nice little things. I think I have to use a shear if I'm not mistaken. And coming down this way is super cool. I just added these glowberry vines after 1.18 came out because I don't need string, and it just looks so much nicer. Got more spore blossoms, diamonds in the wall. These are kind of a flex now. Not really, because my world's old and how many chunks are generated with how many diamonds in it. But in new worlds, it is super hard to find diamonds in actual stone and not in the deep slate variant. We've got a big drip leaf farm that I kind of just came up with myself. Essentially, turn this on, and it doesn't have any bone meal in it, so I can't show you it anyway. But essentially what it does is it will just bone meal this until it reaches that, and the piston will break it. But when it breaks at the top, it breaks the entire thing. For whatever reason, don't know why. It's just what big drip leaves do. So it's whatever, and it gets the job done, essentially speaking. Coming on down here, we got a really cool thing. This is actually one of the waterways that moves, I think it's just slime balls, to be honest, from the slime farm up to my storage system. I didn't move this at all. I just kind of dug down here and found it. I was like, oh, that'd be cool. I just kind of put behind glass just to see. And then eventually down here is going to be where the dripstone is. I did not get that far, and honestly, I don't even know if it's worth building a farm for it, because if I remember correctly, it is very, very slow at growing dripstone, if that's the right terminology for it. But this actually links up to the flower farms below here, so we have some room to do some other stuff. I'm going to make this area down here look like the dripstone caves a little bit. It might open up into the storage area in the dripstone farm with like stalactites and stalagmites and everything, but this was the lush cave section because it just looks so good. And the farms are really productive too. Like, I don't know if I'll, like, you can make the moss carpets with this, so I might just eventually throw those into the composter. Like, we got azaleas, the flowering azaleas, and then there's two different sections for bone meal here. We got one, this is the supply of bone meal that gets made from the one farm. I don't know if it's self-sufficient. I haven't done the math yet. But this is the amount of bone meal the other farm that's producing all the other types of moss by just giving us seeds. That's all the seeds that have been produced by this much moss conversion have produced 16 bone meal in seeds. Yeah, it's yeah, very slow, but it is back there. This is my little way to get around. It's a little tight and cramped back here, but essentially what I have is I have this, they're both hooked up to the same hopper chain, and I have a bone meal thing here to pick up bone meal, and then everything else just goes into this composter. So if anything overflows, it'll just come in here and go in there, and I can turn this on and off, so if it overflows, I can then fix it. Coming down here, the stone bricks is the water elevator. It's very, very weird walking around here, but it's right back there. And we got the two different water streams here, because these are the bottom of the farms, these are the bone meal supplies, which, to be honest, is probably a big, huge waste of hoppers, but I have like 50 double chests of iron from the Iron Phoenix, so I don't have a problem with iron. And then we got a dispenser or a dropper hooked up here to shoot out the items, and I think that's where the items come out. So it's very simplistic, but it gets the job done, and it produces a lot of moss. Now let's just take a look here and look at the spore blossom. Takes 2 vines and a peony, which gives the peony. Do I have... the bundles are in here. I don't know if this is actually part of the data pack, because I don't remember seeing anybody use bundles. I haven't used them. I don't have a need for them. So I'm not quite sure on that one, but I think the, I put drip leaf. We can make the small drip leaf with vines and lily pads, and the big, I can't make the big drip leaf, but you can get that from the small drip leaf. You can't actually farm the small drip leaf, and that's like one of the cooler looking plants, so I probably will keep, what? Huh? Oh, here. See, I get lost. I have to make this a little bit more easier to get to, because that's how I check the bone meal, so. The small drip leaves are like the cooler looking ones, in my opinion, to the big drip leaves, because they're tiny, little lily pad plants instead of a big one, you know, I like the small ones. Anyway, I'm rambling on here. Let's go to the next area. Okay, now I ask myself this question. How did the turtle get up here? And where did you come from, and why are you holding an egg? Random mobs where there shouldn't be a side. For those of you who don't know what this is actually 00, or somewhere nearby here 00, and there's a wandering trader out there, and I should probably go look at him. Ooh, tropical fish. Ooh. And pufferfish. Ooh. Ooh, I have an idea. Because I think I need buckets of tropical fish to breed axolotls. Not the actual just tropical fish item, which I have loads of and would have been a lot easier instead of getting single buckets of tropical fish. But this is a ocean, technically speaking. This is a desert, but then we come out here and it is a plains, a desert, and then over here it is warm ocean, desert, plains. It doesn't know what it wants to be. This used to be the giant crater from episode 40 that I blew up, and I think these are still like remnant bits of it here from TNT explosions by the looks of it. But when I reset the chunks for 1.18, what I did was reset these chunks too. Got rid of the giant crater, because honestly it was a giant crater and it didn't look that great. It was cool looking, but it would have been... Actually, yeah, I'm glad I did that, because it would have been wrecked in 1.18. Like I said, it doesn't know what it wants to be. So it's part plains, part desert, part ocean. Hence why there's so much tropical fish and pufferfish, so I don't have to go far to get these. And there's also some sea pickles, which means, technically speaking, I can make a coral block farm over here, right? Because it's the warm ocean? Technically speaking. Hey, bunny. Oh, yeah, that's right. You like me, because here, have a carrot. So, yeah, I got rid of that. That's about it. pretty much, yeah. Giant crater, no more. In terms of why there was a giant crater, if you don't know, it was a story that I was going with. And speaking of the story, I am unsure at this current point in time if the story will continue or not. I guess you will have to find out, just like I will. So coming in the view distance now, this is Avollon's village, which actually now looks more like a village. I also spent some time fixing the jungle trees, because some of them got cut off in some version. Like, this part of the leaves onward were just gone, and that doesn't look good, obviously. So this village is obviously a village now. I think previously it had the big structure, the sheep, and maybe these two buildings. And since then I've added a bunch of stuff, including some of the other saved structures from other worlds, including boat. That is the exact same boat. That's just one sign. Okay, there we go. The one sign just loads in. If you can see it by my crosshair, and then whoop, all the signs. This is the same exact boat, and there's another one on the exact same side. And one of the things I forgot to bring over when I came over from the other world was the cave spider farm structure. I had saved it, just never put it anywhere, so I thought it looked really cool over in where it would be in the other world in a red sand mesa. And overall, this area looks just a lot more filled in. I do have plans to do more stuff over here. I'm thinking of putting the axolotl breeding area, like, probably in this bit. And I also added a way to get inside the sheep farm, because I actually didn't have a way to get inside of it. Because I need to be able to put shears in there. Hi. And this thing also broke at some time. I had to fix it. Like, it destroyed the redstone in amongst itself and everything. So I wanted to make it more feel like a village, feel lived in. I'm not going to be doing story elements right at this moment, but I will still make the world feel alive and lived in, and the villages will feel like they have a purpose and a point in the world. Why did I just... whatever, I guess. I don't know why I didn't continue that, but sure. This is like a warehouse building, and essentially just... there's probably some dark hole somewhere. That just stores a bunch of supplies that come in from the two ships, and I think the ships, like I said, are exactly the same block for block, and they just kind of sit there. That's all they do. But I really like the dock and the warehouse. Looks really cool. My own design. I think I just randomly came up with that. These are houses that are in different parts of the world that I just swapped over the build style with the deep slate and jungle wood, because we're in the jungle. Markets and some sugar cane. That is literally there just for looks. I don't need a sugarcane farm. I have 2 of them already. But coming over here, we have the ruined area, and there's paths leading everywhere, which I really like to do. I don't know if I had mentioned it prior, but there were 3, technically speaking, 3 cave spider spawners over here. But then I reset the chunks in this area to, I think, 1.17 I did that, to try and get a amethyst geode, because my other spider farm that I have was encroaching on bedrock, and that, what was I going to try to say there? It was really close to bedrock, and I couldn't make the spiders fall by fall damage, and creating a spider XP farm is not fun. So it was really difficult, and I didn't have a proper way to get string, and with candles, I needed string. So I wanted to reset the chunks over here to get a amethyst geode and the 2 cave spider spawners. Or 3. It used to be 3. Now it's only 2. I know. Big deal. In fact, there was only 2 in the other one, but there was 3, but I used the 1 for decoration. And so now we have a cave spider spawner, but with 1.18 I can fix the other spider farm. And it's not an XP farm because these little suckers are annoying as heck. It's literally them just falling to their death, and then all the drops literally coming up here. Don't even need an item filter, because they don't drop spider eyes unless they're killed by a player. So we just get strength. And that's it. And this. I love using amethyst as the floor for things. That's pretty much all I'm ever going to use it for, because it sounds so cool to walk on. But coming down here, we're brought into a cave with copper, which I need to get a lot of this, obviously, for building with copper, but I need to put it in the underneath. I completely forgot about that. There's no copper in there. But we also got some spore blossoms for whatever reason. But more amethyst, and we've got our amethyst geode farm. This thing was a pain to set up. There's a conduit down below. This is essentially just a way for me to harvest the amethyst, and I believe every single one of these is a source block of water, so if something's in here, it should float right on up. And then there's water streams up here that push everything over into that bit, which then comes on down here and gets collected in the chests. Is it efficient? Is it practical? Kind of, because an actual amethyst farm that would break these was, like, horribly slow and would not get you any amethyst. Not that I need mass quantities of these. They are fairly common to come by, and I can just tear apart the ones that I need. But this gives me the ability to get the buds, and that's all that I really wanted. So, I believe there's one more area we gotta go to. It's a little bit further away. So, yeah. Let's go check it out. So, this is the white glass tunnel. I'm not entirely sure if I've ever showed this off in the videos, but this is the packed ice biome that didn't get reset when I reset chunks, and it also doubles as my Christmas area, because I felt like decorating for Christmas one time, and it's just kind of sat here abandoned since then. What are you doing over there? See how good my aim is. Oh, laggy, but alright. I'll take it. Alright, my aim's not bad. Could be better. But what I did here is that's just a house, just a lodge. And this is the very bare basic snow farm. I think, yeah, I have a shovel here and some ice, and then I can lock. Okay, I don't know why that's there, but I can lock that and, you know, get some snow if I want to. I want to make a proper snow farm eventually to get snow layers, but I have a path going over here with a bunch of snow layers. This is why I want snow layers, because it looks really cool to have these different layers and levels and everything with blocks mixed into a packed ice path that's very natural looking. That pumpkin that comes over here to the powdered snow farm, because yeah, powdered snow. Don't know what I'll ever use it for. And I also built a ice farm because I didn't have one of those before. Very basic, I mean basic farms. It's just literally just place down a bunch of cauldrons and water and it freezes. No automation to it whatsoever. Hence why I want to build a snow farm over here, so I have something to AFK at, and something's running while I'm in the background collecting powdered snow, even though, like, honestly, what am I going to use this much powdered snow for? The ice, on the other hand, I use all the time, so I needed a way to renew it. And I don't... Is that a floating island? That is a floating island. I get distracted too easily. I don't think these are new chunks, because obviously I built that stuff prior to updating the world. I think I even had this stuff built before recording on this world. So I think there's new chunks, obviously new caves are below us, but I'm not quite sure where the new chunks start around here. I thought they were like really close, because I didn't keep this area when I was, like, I didn't specifically look for this area when I was pruning the chunks and everything, which I forget which program I used for that. I used the Pacific program. I didn't just go in and delete region files in the folders. I used some specific thing that you can put your world in. You can delete all the fancy chunks, whatever ones you want. That's how I did Pacific chunks in my spawn area, because my whole spawn base is like sharing 2 region files, so I can't get rid of them, essentially. So yeah, anyways, that's pretty much about all I've done in between this episode and last. A couple of fair stuff. We got some projects to do, and the first snapshot for 1.19 came out Wednesday. Which, it's technically now Thursday, but it came out Wednesday, the 16th, and it's looking pretty good, and I'm already having a lot of ideas and farm ideas and plans and everything that I want to do when that drops, whenever that may be. In terms of content and videos, you know, I've said before, probably about an episode a week. That's what I'm going to aim for. I'm going to try new ways of recording and editing and just different styles and how I make the videos. This is going to be like the only talky episode because I needed to catch you guys up, and hi, that's my face, on what's been going on. So if you see a thing, you're like, wait, when did that happen? Well, this video is practically a mini world tour of things I did in between this episode and the last, essentially speaking. I don't think I'll be doing one at episode 52, so you know, because it's just kind of been, I have a lot of ideas, a lot of projects, a lot of episodes, gonna get them out. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I continue making content, and if you guys enjoyed that, please subscribe. It means the world to me, and if you could like the video, it's another way to show your appreciation, and it really does give me the motivation to continue on making these videos. And if you really want to, you can leave a comment below. Maybe some suggestions for farms or different areas to build in, or styles, or anything, any suggestions. I am up for them. I will not hesitate to read those comments, and I will try to reply to them the best I can. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Sorry for rambling on this entire episode. Next episode, we'll do something. Probably the dripstone, to be honest. I've got a couple bigger farm and project ideas in mind that are going to take up some time, and I'll leave you with that. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Farewell.